with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. Rafael fucking Nadal. What can you say about Rafael fucking Nadal? He is already one of the greatest sportsmen in the history of sport. He has that thing that all the greatest sportsmen have. They just fucking find a way to do it. Like your Tom Brady's with fucking 8 seconds left on the clock, 6 points down in a fucking Super Bowl. You just fucking know they're going to fucking figure it out. Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Tiger Woods. Like when you get to that level of sport, it's almost entirely mental. You've done all the work. You know how to hit a forehand. You know how to hit a backhand. You know how to do all the shit. But what the fuck is going on upstairs? How do you soak up the pressure? Where do you put it? How do you clear your mind and not let the occasion fucking overwhelm you so you can do what you need to do to win? How the fuck do you absorb that pressure? I don't know. You have to be fucking insane. But Rafael Nadal is one of the greatest fighters in the history of sport. I don't think you can fucking argue with that. It doesn't matter what sport Rafael Nadal chose. It just happened to be tennis, but if he had chosen something else, he would have become one of the greatest of all time in that as well. The same thing that makes Nadal the greatest tennis player of all time, I would have to argue he is. But I'll get to that in a second. But what makes Rafa great would make Rafa great at anything he wanted to do in life. He just happened to have chosen tennis. So I'm going to make the argument that Rafael Nadal is the greatest tennis player of all time. He's not my favorite. I still love Federer. If Federer was playing Nadal in the final, I would choose Federer. And if Nadal was playing Djokovic in the final, I'd choose Nadal. And they're his two fucking competitors for greatest tennis player of all time. So Federer is like the artist of those three. He's like a fucking painter. Watching Federer play is like watching someone dance. But the Fed won quite a few Grand Slams before fucking Nadal and Djokovic got on the scene. He was playing cunts like Andy Roddick and Leighton Hewitt. And I'm not saying they're shit cunts, but they are. So when Nadal came in, Roger Federer was number one and probably the most dominant tennis player in the history of tennis. So Nadal came in and he had to win every single one of his Grand Slams against Federer and Djokovic. Same with Djokovic. Djokovic had to win all his Grand Slams against Federer and Nadal, and to a much lesser extent, Andy Murray. Anyway, so Nadal comes in, Federer's number one. It takes Nadal about 2 years to figure Federer out, and then for the next decade, Nadal crushes Federer. Not just tennis-wise, mentally. I watched just about every single one of their fucking games over the last 20 years, and there was that period in the middle where Federer just had no fucking answers to Nadal. It was a little bit uncompetitive. It used to annoy the fuck out of me too because I fucking love the Fed so much. So the Fed is kind of out of the discussion because his record against Nadal is it's just so bad that you can't even make an argument that Federer is a better player than Nadal. There's no way you can make it. Federer and Djokovic, on the other hand, that's a little closer. I don't think there's too many games between them, but still, Djokovic is ahead of Federer. And I'm saying this as someone whose favorite player of all time is Federer. So then we come to Djokovic versus Nadal. And it's very hard to make the argument that Nadal is better than Djokovic because their head-to-head is Djokovic's favor. But I think you have to take into consideration that Nadal has been getting injured since like 2009. He's had like 4 or 5 career-ending fucking injuries. He missed like 10 or 12 Grand Slams in the prime of his career. Both his knees are fucked, his foot's fucked, probably a bunch of other shit that he's never talked about because it's just not an issue. He makes no excuses. So for the last fucking decade plus, Nadal has been winning everything pretty much on heart. Djokovic missed a few Grand Slams with like elbow tendonitis or something like that. But Nadal, He has fought back from career-ending injuries. Any other player, it would have ended their fucking career. And he's come back every time and won Grand Slams afterwards. So Djokovic's dominance didn't really begin until Nadal started getting injured. So I'll say this, a prime Rafael Nadal beats both Djokovic and Federer 9 out of 10. Anyway, let's get back to the fucking match tonight. Probably one of the greatest fucking tennis matches I've ever seen 3 sets of in my entire life. Because I fucking watched the first 2 sets, and when Nadal lost that second set in the tiebreaker, I stopped watching. I was like, this fucking old bald cunt is gonna fucking let us down. He's gonna fucking let every single follically challenged man down with the way he's playing. He looked old, he looked bald, he just looked fucking slow. So I'm like, it's too fucking depressing watching these old champions lose. And there was no way he was coming back from 2 sets down. He looked exhausted and bald. Just shave your head, Nadal. I'll give you the tip. So anyway, we head out to the pub because it's my wife's last night in India that she can go out and have a few drinks. Head to the pub. On the big screen, the Australian Open finals on. I'm like, fuck, how is this still on? Holy shit. Has Nadal come back? I look at the scores. It's the start of the 5th set. I'm like, Jesus Christ. He won the next 2 sets. And then that last fucking set. What a fucking set. Nadal breaks Medvedev to go up 3-2 in the last set. He needs to hold serve to consolidate the break. That game goes for like 15 fucking minutes. Nadal had chances to win that game like 3 times. He also saved like 3 break points. I'm jumping up and down in the pub. No one else is even watching the tennis. I'm cheering like it's me. When he won, it felt like I won as well. So he finally fucking holds that game somehow. Somehow he pulled it out of his ass. It gets to 5-4. Nadal's serving for the match. He goes up 30-love. I clasp my hands together like I'm gay or something. I don't clap, I clasp them together. I put them together and I'm just, my head's tilted and I'm sort of sighing like I'm in love with Nadal. Anyway, he fucking loses that game. Even after I clasped, he lost that game. I thought it was my clasp that fucking made him lose. Anyway, I think it's over again because I'm like, how the fuck is he going to break Medvedev's serve again? It's a long fucking way back from here and it's a tiebreaker and Medvedev has a lot of fucking aces up his sleeve. He gets a lot of fucking free points off that serve, so Nadal is in big fucking trouble. I gave up so many times in that fucking match, and I'm just watching. I gave up like 6 times. Nadal never gave up. So the fucking next game, Medvedev is serving. It's 5-all. Medvedev wins this, then he's got a fucking shot at Nadal's serve again to win the match. You would think for a normal human being, having your serve broken while you're serving for the match, that would fuck with your head a little bit. So what does Nadal do? He comes straight back and fucking breaks Medvedev's serve again. I have no fucking idea how he was mentally able to keep it together to do that. And I'm not talking about Rafa, that fucking hot fucking guy in a singlet with flowing hair. I'm talking about an old-looking, bald Rafael Nadal. Rafa and Rafael Nadal are 2 different fucking people, but the one thing they have in common is fucking heart. And when you get to that level, heart trumps fucking skill. Although Nadal does have a few skills as well. So Nadal comes back, he fucking breaks Medvedev. I have no fucking idea. I'm almost in tears. If I was watching that by myself and not out in public at a pub, I would have cried. But then I'm like, fuck, he's still got to serve this out for the match. The first point was a rally and Nadal won it. Then he won the second point. Then it was an ace. And then 3 match points and fucking Nadal. Rafael Nadal fucking won the Australian Open. He did it for all the fucking old bald cunts out there. What a fucking legend. It has been such an honor to watch these 3 cunts play tennis the last fucking 15, 20 years. Nothing in sports has been better than watching like a Federer Nadal final that goes for 5 hours, or a Djokovic Federer, or a Nadal Djokovic. It's just been an absolute fucking pleasure. And this was one of the fucking greats. Anyway, I also want to say congratulations to Ash Barty too. The first Australian woman to win the Australian Grand Slam in like 45 years. That was cool too. But Nadal, Rafael fucking Nadal. Anyway, that'll do for tonight. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around with your friends. And I'll see ya the fuck later.